Sally and I are just going to go through some of the online tools that are available to help your business. And with most of these tools, they're all completely free. Some of them may have upgradable services that offer a few more options, but for the most part, most of these are freely available to begin with. Okay, so we've got more than 50% of Australians at the moment who are using social media in addition to those who are in the online space. And of those 50%, over 90% of those are making purchase decisions both online and offline. So even if you're not in that online space with your own business, your consumers are, and that's where they're going to make decisions. So it's really important to make your brand visible in the online space so you can increase that engagement and the likelihood of generating referrals and sales.
Building authority is one too. So by posting and sharing relevant content online, you establish your knowledge and authority within your industry. So you become a voice that's quite trusted within your followers.
And so as a trusted source, it's a great way to build new networks and clients. So whether you've got people using your services because they're on your Facebook page or they're seeing you online, whether they're referring you because they've seen you. So it's a great way to pick up clients. And the reason people know you because they've sought you out and they've engaged with you already. So you haven't had to use traditional marketing methods to go out and put your name in front of people. These people are finding you. So it's really important to make sure that you are keeping those levels of engagement up.
And also, market research. So people just love to be heard. So social media is the ideal place to float ideas. And also, it's a great way to monitor your industry and competitors. So it's a great way to work these things out and what is working and what isn't. So it's a great tool in that way to build your knowledge.
And as Tash was talking about earlier, as far as responding to customers and customer service, you'll see companies like Qantas and Optus using Twitter to respond to clients as their first port of call because it's a really instant way of getting back to people. And obviously you don't want to have the whole thing dragged out over Facebook or Twitter, but it's a great way to contact people to say, look, we've heard that you've got a concern, we'll get in touch with you, send us a message and we'll resolve this either via email or phone or whichever method you prefer.
And as we all know, it does take time to nurture cold leads, and with social media it really helps us speed that process up. So customers really start getting a bit of a they're less off-put and you're not quite so much of a stranger, and they do start feeling quite comfortable and familiar with your brand. So therefore, you're more inclined to make a sale through someone that's known you around because they're comfortable and trust you a lot more.
Also, it's a great opportunity to mix with people that you might never meet in real life, whether geographically or the circles you mix in. But, there's all sorts of people up to Oprah on social media. So, you might find that you're mixing with people who are industry leaders within your industry or whoever. And one of the great things is if you can build a connection with these people, they sort of, shed a little bit of light on you as well. So once you have that connection with somebody who's sort of seen to be a guru in their area, all of a sudden that connection makes you a more appealing connection as well.
So it is quite amazing the amount of information that you come across while you're actually using social media. So it does keep you quite informed. You do tend to stay more informed. You can bookmark articles and research and have a great, amazing resource all right at your fingertips that you can easily access. So there's a lot of learning and a lot of benefits in that way to benefit yourself as well.
And also, it's a great opportunity to expose yourself to people who might be a great advocate for your business or somebody that you can partner up with. So LinkedIn's a particularly good example where you've got professionals networking or people who are looking for complementary services, or even customers who love your service or your products and are on their own Facebook or Twitter accounts singing out your praises.
So yeah, social media, we've got Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Google Plus that you probably all hear about. So we'll just have a quick spill about these ones.
So currently we've got over 10 million Australians using Facebook, and of those 10 million, 84% are within the 18 to 54-year-old age demographic, and obviously a lot of those people are still going to be working with a disposable income. So that's a huge market out there on Facebook alone that is worth connecting with.
And just a bit of statistics for you. So 1.9 million Australians were using Twitter in June 2011, and that's up from 1 million in January 2011. So we can almost see that's just still growing massively. And also 2 million Australian LinkedIn users and 135 million worldwide. And Google Plus is a little bit less, but approximately 350,000 Australians use Google Plus, so that's growing quite quickly as well. So there's.
And just to put these different mediums into context that we're probably a bit more familiar with, we can probably equate Facebook to like being at a barbecue. It's a bit more sociable, there's more conversations, and the conversations tend to revolve around sort of one topic moving to the next. Twitter's a lot more like a cocktail party where there's a lot of conversations, a lot of little groups, and a lot of information sharing going quite quickly, so it's quite dynamic. LinkedIn, as mentioned, it's more of a professional connection, so people who are looking to find work or find advocates for their business, switch business cards sort of thing. And Google Plus, very similar to Facebook with the way it's laid out and it works. And given that Google is dominating the search engines and everything that's happening in it, and certainly social media playing a part in that, I kind of equate that to being at a barbecue at the boss's house. It's perhaps not where you want to be, but it's a good idea.
So yeah, there is different platforms that suit different business and business styles. So I find Facebook works a lot better with me because I'm dealing with smaller end businesses, and that's sort of more inclined what they tend to use because it's their first medium of learning a platform. So Facebook's a little bit more than Twitter, but then Twitter's more beneficial for me because on a business sense, I get to hook up with connections of different designers around the hills and also find different resources. So there's, different mediums to suit what you're after. And also don't be afraid to try any of them. They're quite easy to learn. Even if you find them hard, you'll plod along and fiddle and you can't break anything. So
So just having a quick look at some of the platforms if you're not already familiar with them. This is my Facebook business page, and you can see on the left hand side I've got a little banner there. It sort of explains what it is that I do. It's got my contact details, it's got my branding, and same again across the top. I've used some little visual representations instead of photos, but you could use your products or anything that relates to your business just to strengthen that message of your branding and your business.
And so this is my Twitter account. It's a little different. You mark it yourself with your name under your business. So my name's the prominent thing there with just a quick spiel about myself. So straight away people know, okay, this is Sally Sanders now at Arqiva, and here's my web address. So straight away if they have read a link or heard something, straight up the top they can link through and find some information about my website, the tweets that I've recently tweeted, and also some followers and all your favourites and who I'm following is all listed there. So that's sort of the Twitter, Facebook platform. Profile platform. And also the LinkedIn here. Now that's a more professional one. I'm sure all of you would probably have heard of LinkedIn or would be most likely on there because it is the professional networking one. So I've got a lot of connections I've actually got work through LinkedIn because I've connected with other graphic designers that needing outsourcing and that sort of thing. So that's a more professional approach. So you can see it's quite like all about my current and past and education and recommendations, and it's a very professional social media, that one.
And finally Google Plus, and as you can see it's got that similar sort of layout to Facebook, and again I've used that branding across the top, and similar again to Facebook groups, you've got circles and things that you can send certain messages to certain groups. So if you're only wanting to send messages to advocates for your business or complementary businesses, you can talk to them, or you can talk to your clients, or you can use whoever. So in that respect there's a bit of flexibility, but again it's one of these networks which is taking that little bit more time to take off.
And so we're just going to quickly go through some online tools that will help. So we've got Google tools that we're going to go through, and some content creation and sharing tools, and some interactive business tools that will help you with your business.
So Google have a bunch of free tools that you can use, and they offer so much information. Everything from analytics, which you can plug into your website, Gmail, which is the free email one. There's alerts you can set up to see who's mentioning your name around that send you email alerts. There's a whole stack of these, so we're just going to take a look at some of these in more detail.
Now, first one, analytics. Hopefully lots of you that do have websites can monitor your website, but if not, Analytics is a fantastic free tool by Google which tells you exactly where your traffic's coming from your website, so you can really monitor a lot of marketing campaigns. So if you did an advertisement on Facebook and you were getting heaps of Facebook feeds through to your site in that time frame that you did your marketing, you'd obviously know that and it converted to sales. You might be like, well, that's a really great way of doing some marketing. So it's a great way to monitoring that sort of thing, and also monitoring keywords. So who's typing in to Google and how they're finding you. So it's a great way to do that. Also, it helps you know where visitors are all coming from. So if a person clicks through from a blog that you wrote or a blog that you replied on, or any of those sort of mediums, you'll know where the traffic's coming through to your site. So it's a fantastic tool. This is the interface or the dashboard. Straight away, this chart here, if you rolled over the little circles there, it would tell you on each day how many people came to your site. It gives you a quick little pie chart here on how many new visitors and recurring visitor we have here. And also on the left, it's just a quick spiel on how many visitors you've had for this time frame. So it's usually over, I think it's 14 days or a month that they do it, and how many page visits, and also shows what keywords down here. And it also shows what browsers and people are accessing your site on. So it's a great tool to see if you're finding a lot of people accessing your site on handheld devices like your iPads or your iPhones. You might be thinking it might be a good marketing campaign to really focus on your website and make sure it's working well on those mediums as well. And
AdWords is one, as a copywriter, I use constantly. This is Google's tool that helps you actually find the best keywords to use for your site or your blog or whatever you're using. You can also get an idea of how much these words will cost if you want to use them for a pay-per-click campaign through the Google advertising that shows up on the side of your page. You might have a keyword in mind and then go in and do a bit of research and find that people aren't actually using that keyword. So it gives you a list of other options that you can have a look through and shows you what people are actually typing in. And even if you're blogging or you're putting content together, it's a great way to sort of look at what people are putting in and what the rates are and using that. So essentially you just type in the search phrase that you want up to the top, and that'll give you a bit of an indication of how many people are searching for that word, how many other businesses are using that word, and the level of competition that you have on that word. Again, you can see how much it will cost, and down the bottom you've got the different alternates that you might want to use instead. And ideally, when you're looking for a strong keyword, what you want to find is a word that has really, really low competition, which means that there's not a lot of other sites using that word, but it also has a high search rate. So your local monthly searches, which is for Australia as opposed to your global, shows you what your local audience is using. So you want that to be high and the competition to be low to get the best results for that particular keyword.